Peoria Chiefs, Mr. Nathan Baliva.
Thank you, Dustin. Welcome out to Dozer Park, our final home Sunday of the regular season in front of our dugout. I'm joined by our manager, Chris Swauger. How you doing?
Very well. How are you?
Good. I asked Ux the other night, can you believe we're sitting here at the end of August now? It seems like you guys just got off the bus from spring training a couple weeks ago, and here we are 132 some games in.
Speak for yourself, pal. It's been a while.
It's been a while.
So, no, I a lot of times when you look back on it, it seems like things have gone rather quickly, but I think our guys would tell you that the season's been it's been a long season, but it's been a good season. We've tried to focus a day at a time and all of those cliches and stuff, but when you do that, you really enjoy and take in the entire season. So I think when your mindset is just maybe to get through it, that's when it maybe seems like it went really fast because like all you were doing is looking towards the end. But I think our guys have done a nice job of focusing day to day and just enjoying the day and working hard each day. And so I would say, looking back, they'd probably tell you that their body of work is good, not that it went fast. At least that's what we're hoping for.
It's funny too how you guys got here, obviously cold weather in April in the Midwest, and some of the guys went out and cleaned out some of the stores in the area buying all the long sleeve stuff, and then all of a sudden last week in Wisconsin we needed it again for a couple of those nights as it got into the 50s, and you had some guys that looked pretty chilly down there in the dugout Tuesday, Wednesday night.
Yeah, so I wrote our packing list at the beginning of the year, and on it was winter clothes, tight sleeves, all of that stuff, and I've used the same list, just put it out every single time on the bulletin board. But looking at the forecast, I actually went and highlighted, make sure you bring your winter gear, just because, I think our guys have been used to it being warm, and even when we go north, it's been pretty nice. But it was pretty chilly. It was actually ended up being beautiful weather,
right?
For
kind
the
of
game.
Football weather.
Yeah, exactly. Being from Florida, we don't always get fall. We kind of get fall and winter mixed in with like 8 days,
right?
In like somewhere in January, so that weather was really nice. I haven't really gotten to experience that since I was playing. So.
You got a lot of guys who played in playoff stretch runs last year, either for you in Johnson City, 3 or 4 guys in the Gulf Coast League, 4 I think now that we have Ortega with us, and the rest in-state college, and then even the college guys that weren't part of the Cardinal system last year played in it through the College World Series in a couple cases. So as we get down into this last stretch now, the last week, in a playoff race, in a playoff position, how can those guys kind of pull off of last year's experience? How do you as a manager pull off of last year's experience, because you've been through this?
I don't know that you necessarily pull off of last year's experience because every season is different, every team is different. I think, last year those teams were kind of, I don't want to say dominant, but they were like front-running teams, had been in first place, for a long time throughout the season, and we've kind of scuffled a little bit. So it is just a little bit different atmosphere and vibe, and I think these guys really in the last week or two have really embraced the fact that, hey, we're in it and we have a chance to go to the postseason. So I do think there's value in that they've all won championships at some point in their lives, and they know what it's like to play meaningful games. And I think some guys' performances have gone up, and we've had an uptick in intensity, which is natural. But there's some value to that at the end of the season when a lot of teams are just trying to get through it,
right,
and trying to get just trying to get to the finish line, and we're trying to run through it.
How do you approach that with your team? Do you talk to them about it? Do you let them hear from us or on social media what the magic number is or what the playoff scenario is? Have you talked to them about it? How does that work?
I think there's a lot of different ways for that to happen, but most of that, they're all aware. They're all adults. Right. They're smart. They're well aware of what they're doing. I think it's one of those things where there's a lot of avenues for the information. Obviously, we know as a staff know where we're at, and we've addressed that we're playing meaningful games and that they're important. But the biggest thing is these guys, they take ownership of it, and if they tell you they don't know where they're at or where we're at, they're just lying. So it's a fun atmosphere to be around going down the stretch, and hopefully we get to continue it.
So we can truth test them by asking if they know where we are, just each player.
Yeah, go for it. I mean, if they don't, I feel like they're doing themselves a disservice if they don't. So
right. We had a promotion at the end of that trip in Wisconsin. Brian O'Keefe, who had been here for a couple years. I know you guys like to have some fun with Brian. We were joking about it with Ian here the other night and having some fun with him on the bus when we had to pull over there for a minute, and guys were joking that he was going to miss his flight and wasn't going to actually get promoted. But did you have some fun with it when you told him about it in Wisconsin? And what were your parting words, I guess, to Brian after all the success he had here in Peoria?
Actually, I was going to have a lot of fun with him, especially since he hit what would have been he hit a go-ahead homer in that game, so we were going to mess with him pretty hard. But in light of us getting walked off and kind of the way we lost the game, I kind of just brought him in and said congratulations and gave him a hug. But that would have been a prime opportunity to mess with somebody who has messed with a lot of people and been here a long, long time. So yeah.
And instead, I think when we got on the bus, you told him to make sure that, or you were putting the movie on, so he had to stop calling all of his extended friends and family. Was that?
Yes.
That was
yes.
the other line.
No,
So.
we got on the bus and I said, "What are the odds that O'Keefe hasn't told every single person he knows?" I said, somebody was like, 0. So.
Yeah. And then it was time to start the movie, and his phone calls were over.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
We're gonna
jack that movie up a little bit.
Yeah, we're
just
gonna
so
drown you out.
He was the happiest guy in the world. But it was good for him. He well deserved and well earned.
Well deserved.
We talk about him a lot, and he was a good player for us this season.
And a double in his debut in Palm Beach was just fitting because he had 53 of them here. So
perfect.
Nice to see him continue
he's got
to
all
do
kinds
that.
Of records here, huh?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, had a great time here and had some fun. We had fun with him too. It was good. It's nice when you can joke around with guys like that.
You need guys like that.
Yeah.
You definitely do. You need he's a high character guy and a good clubhouse guy, and he rubs people the wrong way, but only because he tells the truth at all times. Or
yeah.
he's not afraid to let somebody know when he thinks that they're wrong. So you need guys like that'll do that.
And we got a new catcher replacing Dennis Ortega, who got out there yesterday, is back out there today. When you get a new catcher like that, what's that like for the pitchers? Because a couple of pitchers we have weren't in the organization during spring training, so he's got a lot to learn with some of these guys.
Well, the benefit is he actually ended up catching 2 sides the first day he got here. So one of those guys was Warner, who he's catching today, so he's got to see his stuff. That first day, we really made it a point that he was on the bench and talking to the guys and getting to know them and their stuff. And a lot of this is learning on the fly. You're going to work with different catchers, different guys, different defenses, different pitchers every single night. So it's a lot of read and react, but it's a cool thing to watch. Last night, I think that was maybe the first time he'd ever caught Para. And they worked
out well.
Yeah, they worked really well together. Same thing. He had Tilly and he had him in State College, and they worked really well together. So we'll see what's going to happen. Austin's stuff speaks for itself.
Yep.
And Dennis does a really nice job of. The biggest thing about him is he loves to catch. And he really enjoys that part of the job, and expect a lot of good things from him.
Well, good luck out there today. Last Sunday, let's get that magic number down a couple notches.
All right. Thank you.
All right, Chris Swauger, our manager, as we get ready for game today. One more tomorrow on this series against Kane County, noon out here tomorrow for the Monday day game. We'll be off on Tuesday, home Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Those are all 6:30 games against Quad Cities, with fireworks coming up after the contest on Friday with Fan Appreciation Night. Thanks for coming out and spending your Sunday with us here at Dozer Park.